Welcome back to Feelspeak, where we speak what we feel every day, 365. What's good, guys? Got the original gangster, William Addison, on. Me and him opened that restaurant that I work at, that I always talk about, together. And, bro, you know what's crazy about Will? He hugs dudes. He plays flute under trees. He has long hair. He's a hippie. I don't know, bro. Tell us about where you're from, what you do. Like, just give us a little bio, but nothing, over the top.
I'm from Atlanta, and I have been living in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. This is my second time living there. My wife wanted to experience life in the States and that whole, pitch. And I am back visiting family. My mom, my dad, brother, and sister live here. And it's true, yes, I play the flute, and I happen to play under trees.
Nah, dude, because you called me the other day and you were like, oh yeah, I'm walking in Little Five about to play a flute under the tree. I'm like, what?
It is true. It's definitely been something that I've been teaching myself lately. It helps me to kind of communicate. And so, we met at a point in my life where I was back in Atlanta after living in Argentina for the first time, and I met you.
And now your phone blowing up, bro.
Now my phone. Actually, no. Ever since I've been back, I've turned it off airplane mode.
Dude, my friend's the same way. He claims
I get so many calls, just randomly.
For real? My friend has his phone on airplane mode. It's kind of annoying.
I think you can maybe save some money. I don't know. And it's healthier for you too. There's something to do with radiation. It's true.
It probably is. I'm sure, dude. But at this point, like, we live in
you're
America,
right.
and
you get everything.
5G. You're already nuked.
You have a point. You're right.
Okay, so what do you do for fun other than play flute under the trees?
What do I do for fun? All right, I really enjoy taking long walks.
God.
Going from place to place.
You're such a granny panty.
No, you think about it. Why do we have these legs anyway? Where are we going in the first place? So now that I don't have a car, I don't have a bicycle anymore, and the transportation system here is kind of beat. But I've been thinking MARTA, and I have enjoyed the train.
Yeah, do you like listening to like combos and shit that people say? Like,
no,
talk
I
about,
don't.
Like, their job, and they cuss each other. Like, that shit's funny. That shit's cool.
You'll be surprised at the things you hear other people say. But no, I don't eavesdrop. I really try.
It's not eavesdropping.
They're
publicly talking on a public transportation.
I think it's great. I think it is. You have to, find fascination in the world and how people relate to one another and how they essentially, like I said, relate. That's the heart of it.
Dude, it's like you're looking for the best.
I'm trying to see the horizon. Even when I'm walking, where am I going? So that's for fun. I like to, being outside, which is hand in hand with walking. Kind of, I guess, again, like I was saying, engaging with others, like being able to share whatever it is that we have in our mind in that moment, whatever if it's a feeling, an idea, or something just to say, I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And also I've been practicing yoga for some time.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of gives me, like, happiness, like, that's a very funny subject, Bryant, what is happy? How do we measure happiness,
Dude, I had this conversation with my friend. I don't think life is all about happiness.
No.
And it's not, because my friend was on this, like, bliss train where he was like, dude, just bliss out, like, just love everyone, just be happy. And it's like, I don't even want to attack that because it's so cliche to be like, you're such a fucking new ager, like, David Wilcock, like, get the fuck out of here with that Planet 5 Nibiru shit. It's going to explode the earth. I'm like, bruh, let all that shit go. But at the same time, it's like, I understand, like, your life isn't only about being happy, because there's lots of time in your life when you're not going to be happy. Your friend gets cancer, they die 6 months later, they're dead or something. And it's like, there's a random element to life, but at the same time, is it random? Because everything could be quantifiably, like, calculated and we just don't understand it, which is fine, which is cool. Maybe, what you do echoes on for eternity, Marcus Aurelius, gang shit. But yeah, dude, I just think that happiness, I think it's more about meaning. The boat that will take you through the storm when you batten down the hatches.
Oh,
yeah, dude. I just feel like you have to pursue meaning. Like, what? A meaningful, engaged life will see you through the catastrophe. And so like this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to talk to people. I'm interested in people. That's why I'm doing this. You know, I invested in all this shit. I work at a fucking wine bar. We don't make bank. Like, you go to Buenos Aires, you don't make bank. Like, it's not about making money. It's about what's meaningful to you, right? You like to take walks. You like to fucking play your trumpet under the trees. Like,
flute.
Yeah, I'm sure an apple will fall on your head and you'll invent physics or something. You know, something cool will happen. I also feel like you have this. Carl Jung talks about circumambulation, where you continually circle yourself because you're searching for something. Like, you phase in and out of Atlanta. Like, the A is like the hood, and then you're like in Buenos Aires, and then you're back in the hood, and then you're in Buenos Aires, and it's like, okay, so you came to the hood, right? You worked with me for a year. You got your car. You were starting to like get materialistic, and then you pulled yourself out of that shit, and now you're back. It's like you're fucking circling yourself till you find something that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know if you believe that. I don't know what your take is on that.
No, I think it's great because that's kind of the visual that I have. Like, life moves in cycles. It's not really just one point in you and you go straight to the next point in a linear fashion. It's more of a cyclical formation, and then, yeah, it's like a sphere, basically, or it has a spiral, I guess, and because it's never the same. Even though, yes, I'm back in the hood, it's my neighborhood, you know? Like, the whole world is, and so when you leave your hood and you go out into the greater hood of the world, including all the other countries and all the others that we call others, you know, those that are actually, you know, it's like a giant function, I guess, all of us all over, and we all have something to go through, basically, and it's very easy to see the changes and to see the transparency. Like, when you step out of your neighborhood and you go to other places, you're able to kind of pick up on things maybe that you weren't able to kind of notice, you know, because it stands out, it's different, so your senses become a little bit more sharp, you know, you pick up on very subtle, whatever it is, mannerisms, behaviors, just like even the language itself, you know. And yes, it's true, I have kind of repeated a cycle, always coming back to Atlanta, checking in with my family, kind of looking back out at the world from the point of view that I was first given. So it's like from there, everything seems to be kind of integrated, like a Rubik's Cube. But that said, even though it's the place that I know the best, it's always different. Even though I'm seeing the exact same kind of, if you look at it, like, it's the same texture, it's the same house, it's the same four walls, it's the same place wherever I, you know, whatever it is, like took the dogs out to walk or blah, 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 blah. So being back here, yes, I've been able to kind of air out, you know, been able to really grow up in a way and see some changes, because I feel like, yes, you can go to other places and it can change you, but you're only really going to be able to notice changes when you go back to your roots, you know, from where you came from. Then you can see a change, you know?
Does it depress you coming back here?
No, but it did. There was a point in my life where, like, I wanted to run away. I wanted to go, the whole grass is greener, like, you go to this place and all your troubles would just magically go away. That's not true. And, like, so there was this kind of ebb and flow, this resistance, yet there was an attraction as well. And so being back now, it's like I can appreciate it. Before, it was hard to appreciate it. It's hard to be grateful for the things that you have in your life. It's very easy to look over the small things. And, like, for one that I've learned is spending time with family. Like, being in Argentina, you realize that, like, for a lot of people, that's all they have. It's not money. It's not about being happy. Like, you know, happiness comes and goes. So it's like, you can have because you're not having happiness or whatever it is, like, you're creating your own suffering. So it's like, how do you embody pain? How can you use your suffering in order to alleviate, you know, just your overall understanding of why it's there in the first place? So being here, I'm happy to be with my family in that sense. I'm fortunate, you know, and I'm sure it'll happen again. I'm leaving in a month. I'm going back out there into the, you know, wider world, I guess. But Atlanta will always be home.
Do you like it?
Do I like what? Atlanta?
Do you like just coming and going?
Yeah, you know, because I think that's, no matter what, even if you decide to stay in one place forever and you never go anywhere, if you just decide to stay in your one neighborhood, like, you're still coming and going, you know? Like, thoughts come and go, feelings come and go, this body will come and go. So coming and going, to me, To me, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. This is just for me, coming and going. That nature is our nature.
Yeah.
So, like, you were here, you probably went out the door, you came back, coming and going. That whole cycle you're talking about, we do it all.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know?
I think, it's, like, definitely routine. It's, like, built in, in your head. And then I also think that, like, since you've gone to Argentina, like, okay, so I mentioned earlier you hug dudes, which is weird, bruh. Like, you can't say that's not weird, but apparently it's not. Because in Argentina, they're more open. You were talking kind of about how women are more sexually open. We were talking about sexual harassment. I don't want to talk about that. I've fucking been beating dead wood with that for a long time. But people in Argentina are more open. And then so you're more open. And then maybe that's because you've been exposed to that culture, lifestyle. Because you'll come here, you'll hug dudes, and like you're in touch with your feminine energy. You're obviously not gay because you have a wife. I mean, shit, you might be gay, but it's a little late, you know?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I think it's true, but again, this is only like one piece to the story. What I'm saying doesn't speak for everything else. So again, this is just a piece of the whole story, because you find people too, no matter where you are. Let's just say South America, because I've been there, and I've spent the most time there. But there are people there too that would be threatened by a man hugging another man. Not everyone, but it's true. Like in Argentina, usually it's very custom. When you say hello to somebody, you put their cheeks to each other, and you don't actually kiss them. You just make the noise, like, and you do that with everyone. Doesn't matter how old you are, where they are, everybody, Not with total strangers. Like, you have to have some sort of rapport, I guess, like, but people do it. So yes, it is a warm country, but that's not to say that they're not warm people in the United States or in Canada. Mexico.
No, there definitely is, but I definitely feel like there's this like mask that covers men where they're like, I can't do that because
I think
people will judge me, or it's Atlanta and people will just think I'm gay, or well, this is the gay capital of the world, so that could also have some influence on it. But a lot of men are pent up. You don't see dudes hugging dudes, bruh. I'm sorry, you just don't. Not where
you see fathers and sons hugging.
Well, yeah,
okay,
because they're family.
But isn't the whole? I mean, again, like I get what you're saying. Like I totally get it. I think what this kind of speaks about is how whatever we think is called masculinity. Like I think it's an idea. It's an image we have, and that's really super ingrained in us. That like somehow coming into this world, we already have this notion that like if I hug a guy, I'm gonna be perceived as like effeminate or weak or not manly. And where did that come from in the first place? Mm-hmm. Where did that idea come from? Like, who said that? What language did that come from? So, I think a lot of us here.
I think it's honestly about attracting women. Like, I just feel like women want that quote unquote popular culture or whatever shows that like the masculine man, he has like a beard, he gets hose, like he doesn't hug guys. I mean, it's just kind of encoded in that frequency.
Yeah, you see it in social media.
And then girls will just think you're suspect or something. It doesn't even matter because most girls are like in touch, like they might not think that, but it's just weird. It's not weird to you. It's not really that weird to me, but it's still fucking weird. I don't know.
No, I think you just hugging people, man. Like, I think they're obviously you have to be vulnerable. You have to receive, and men have a problem with being vulnerable. Yeah. They don't want to open up. They want to be tough. They want to mask their masculinity, which is actually embracing your femininity. That's to me what it is to be masculine. To not be afraid of your feminine side. You're that much of a man that you can be that much of a woman and not give a fuck.
Yeah. It's easier to be closed than it is to be open.
But yes, of course, it's much easier to wear the shell, to kind of wear this face to the world that like...
Yeah. I think that's the Naruto Uzumaki like lifestyle, because these dudes think that like if I just sit over in the corner and not talk to anyone, I'm like the cool guy that's gonna like rise to the top because I'm like too good for everyone else. And it's like, no, dude, it's go out and be social, be that person that's like actually trying to like play gracefully with ideas with other people. Don't be that guy that's like off to the side, cold shoulder, because it's so easy to do that. That's like, it's just, you're dying because you're just taking the easy route. Okay, next topic. Okay, you smoke weed, right? You're a pothead, bruh. Like, y'all don't like labels, I know, because y'all new agers, y'all don't like labels, but you toke up. So, like, do y'all claim that that's spiritual, or is that actually spiritual. Because, like, you know how, like, hood dudes, they'll just be smoking weed? It's not spiritual. But, like, y'all be claiming that shit like it's spiritual. And I used to live with a guy who, like, would beat me up if I didn't smoke weed with him. It was weird. It was, like, weird. Ritualistic or tradition, which is cool. I think tradition definitely has its place.
Yeah.
But, like, so do you smoke weed for a spiritual aspect? Do you smoke weed to get high? Do you smoke weed to get munchies? Do you smoke weed? Like, why do you smoke weed, bro?
Good question. Really good question.
I know.
You know, it's something that's actually...
And because you always have this deeper meaning, bro. Do you just feel good? Like, keep it 100. Like, it's two guys talking, bro.
I understand. Wow. You know, I'll have to go back to where it all began.
Oh,
where the seed was first planted. Because that's really what it is, right? Marijuana first starts off as a seed. And then you put it in the ground. And then it grows. You add water. You add sunlight.
Much like everything.
So, that said, it's not anything that's separate from us, right? We need sunlight, we need water, we need air, and it's a seed, so it contains everything that it needs to already, right? And for a lot of people, I think, well, first, what I was getting back where the seed was planted for me in my life was that my brother introduced it to me. And that was a time when I was young. I think I was in 9th grade, so I was about, 14. And at that point, I still look up to my brother, but at that point, I think I really needed him more. And he smoked, and it was something that he didn't want me to try in the beginning, but then he kind of eased up because he was trying to always look out for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very beautiful. Like, I will never forget that experience, what we both did. We were, my mom, of course, was gone, and we smoked outside, and I did get the munchies, and it was like, whoa, I feel very different, And I was young. So
did you see any, like, avatars? Did you see Nibiru? Did you see David Wilcock? Did you see Corey Good?
No, man. Nothing.
Oh, fuck.
So my relationship has evolved. Yes, it is true that, like, I still smoke weed.
Mm-hmm.
I am a vegetarian, and to me, it's a part of my diet.
Okay, so I have another question about that. So y'all rep the vegetarian lifestyle, but y'all eat fish. Tell me what that's about.
Well, the thing is like...
Y'all love fish, but y'all eat them.
Who is
so
y'all? First off, who are you referring to as y'all? I don't even know what I'm representing.
No. I just bruh, you can't tell me that vegetarians are like, I'm vegetarian, and they're like, I'll have the fish. And it's like...
I mean, I think that happens. I think people really should...
Do you phase in and out of eating fish? You don't always eat fish, and then you do?
To be honest, like, I guess I like the term flexitarian, because it's like you have choices, and, at some point you make other choices, and that's okay. You can still kind of keep a certain direction. Even if you have something once, it's not going to kill you. You're not going to... So, to be honest, I did have red meat one time in June. It was the first red meat that I had.
What'd you have?
I had a hamburger from a really good place. Because my suegra, my father-in-law of Augustina came in town, and it was for him that I was like, you know what? He's coming in. I'll have meat. Because for food, for a lot of people, food is a way of sharing, it's celebration. People put a lot of meaning into food. And then I had a burger. Even though, yes, I like to say I'm, for the most part, vegetarian. But I had meat.
So why are you vegetarian then?
Why? Only because it's a matter of receptivity or a sensitivity to my body. It's almost like I've been listening more to my body, not what other people are saying, not really what I read, even though I do read about health and diet and all of that.
Yeah.
At some point, it's like I eat what I feel like. I can sometimes look at something like a banana or an apple and kind of feel what would be better for me, or just instinctually. I don't question, I don't think about it. It's just like, what do I naturally gravitate towards? Because, in some places, it's like eating fish is not, I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but it's almost like you don't have another choice. So you're going to eat fish because there's, not enough of this or that if you live on an island, so what are you going to do? You can't be vegetarian.
And it's also out of respect. Like you said, he came into town, and you don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I'm vegan, I can't have those icicles, I can't have this, I can't have that.
It's true. Like, I saw a guy in Argentina that actually, because Argentina is we're going to have to get back to weed, right?
No, definitely.
All right. Like, in Argentina, people eat a lot of meat. Like, I remember walking by these carnicerias where they sell meat, and, man, you would see trucks just like, not 18-wheelers, but big trucks that were just full of cow carcasses and bones, and it just like fucking smelled like shit.
No, dude, I think it's
so when I see
horrible.
that part of it, it's like, why would I eat this? Like, this is the association I have, you know?
Yeah.
It's not because it's like, oh, I'm brainwashed, like everyone else is eating vegan, I should be vegan, you know, it's a trend or whatever, and it's really expensive too. And
is it really? Because people always say it's not.
It depends. It depends really on where you were. In Argentina, to eat organic, it's like, forget it, man. Like,
for real?
Yeah, it's so expensive, and the economy there is unstable, and you know, not everyone has proportionate, you know, kind of welfare. So those who eat organic are like the cream of the crop, you know, people that got real amounts of money there. And so yeah, it's really expensive. So I don't even eat organic in Argentina, and I don't give a shit, because I know here I can eat organic, and yes, it is a privilege, and I don't, you know, get on my high horse and like preach to others how they should be eating organic and it's the way, and you're eating this shit. It's like, no, I'm actually eating probably GMO food in Argentina, but what can I do? I'm not gonna, I will still live. It's like I eat it knowing what's in it, and it's like at this point in my life, like it doesn't matter. I don't drink clean water. Like there's no reverse osmosis, there's no pH. It's like I drink whatever it is there, and I'm happy.
And you're grateful.
And I'm happy for that. But there's a lot of meat there, and the guy had a shirt that said "Eat Vegans." And I thought it was pretty funny, because it's true. It's like some vegans like are so obsessed with like just the identity that they have fostered, that they think that they're, you know, they are doing some good in the world. There are tons of, I'm sure, environmental, you know, benefits from the reduction of methane, you know, whatever's released.
I honestly do think that eating vegan is probably the most healthy thing you
for the planet, like
do for the planet, for yourself. I mean, you're not. Okay, so there's that concept of energy being transferred from the animals dying in pain, and then it goes into the person. I don't know if I believe that. I mean, I kind of do. I could see it. Energy can't be created or destroyed. That's what your boy said. But it's hard, bruh. It's hard as fuck to do, especially in the States. I don't know if it's hard in Buenos Dias, but
to do what? To
eat vegan.
Oh, to be vegan?
Because, dude, everywhere around you, McDonald's, Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
like,
well, they want you to eat it. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah, of course. But then it's like, it's just, dude, you have to prep food. It's like a whole nother area of your life. And you have to, and then to keep food fresh, and then there's bugs. It's like, bruh, I tried it for like a week, and
I remember in Barcelona.
It was hard, dude.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everyone, to each their own. You know, there are some things.
So you're just vegetarian for you. You listen to your body.
I mean, yeah, because I feel like, well, one, like, you know, it is true. I do believe that, like, for instance, a cow is about to get slaughtered, and the cow knows it, and it starts to freak out, starts to panic, it starts to release all that toxin in their body and in their meat and in their blood, which actually becomes the flesh, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be eating that. So it's not like super metaphysical or new age bullshit. It's like, no, like that's like, that's actually happening. That's biology right there. You know, like the stress is gonna filter into the blood, and you will be eating that. Like, you know, it takes life to give life, doesn't it? You know, and so I really do. That's why it is true. If you're gonna eat meat, like at least try and get it from a place where the animals are at least respected, because that's the problem. Like, you know, there are these slaughterhouses where they're kicking animals, they're fucking with them, yelling, like all that negative energy is going into it. Like, it really is. It's like you don't need a scientist to come and, you know, fucking whip out his whatever measuring device or anything. It's like, it's just plain and simple. Like,
yeah, there was that one study about, like, if you, like, say mean things to water, it freezes differently or something.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. Dude, it's energy, and that's, fuck. And it's so easy to talk about, it's just so hard to implement.
I mean, it depends. Like, I feel like for me, why I was able to kind of reduce beef, you know, was because, obviously, you can change your body, you know, if you... Not to say if you can, because some people have, you know, limitations or they're not able to. So for those that can and can make a choice to do something positive for themselves, it's like it will have an effect. You can, you know, you can work with what you have and the, you know, capabilities to kind of produce, you know, some sort of development, whatever it is. If you want to be a bodybuilder, if you want to be, you know, triathlon, marathon runner, triathlete, but for me, it was yoga. You know, it was using your body as a weight combined with breathing, with kind of concentration on the breath. That had a kind of different, it produced a different change inside of me, and it's pretty much really changed me from the inside out. So I feel like meat was never something that I had to actually go through giving up. It kind of naturally, you know, but there might be a day where like I feel like having meat and I'll go have meat. Yeah, I still eat eggs. You know, I have cheese.
Dude, that's cool because then it's not like it's kind of like, dude, this one dude comes to the job all the time. He's like a regular, and he said the same thing. He's like, I'm vegan, but it's not like I'm not, like every once in a while, like I'm gonna eat some meat. It's like the label isn't holding me down. Exactly. I think it's the label, bro. It's honestly the label.
I mean, it's true. Like I've heard of yoga teachers. There was a school in New York. I worked at a
bougie.
Yeah. Oh, super bougie. I gotta say, these people. And I worked at a holistic center, and it was Jiva Mukti, and Jiva Mukti is a form of yoga, even though it's all there's no difference basically among the styles of it all, whatever it is. But this one of the requirements was that, like, I believe maybe it has changed, but you had to be vegan, and there were people who were vegans and they were Jiva Mukti teachers, and the colleagues, as they were all one family. Some of them chose not to be vegans, and so they had to kind of cut ties with these people simply because they weren't vegan.
Damn.
So it has become sort of this
tribalism,
privileged attitude, because not everyone has the money to eat vegan. Not everyone wants to eat vegan.
Yeah. Not
everyone needs to eat your particular diet, because there's no one set diet for anybody. Everyone's different. So, but to cut friendships because of that, I understand if you have different beliefs and there's violence or something negative comes out of it. But if it's like something casual in terms of the food you eat, I think it's kind of ridiculous to get that far.
Mm-hmm. But think about it like this: would you date someone who has so? For example, you're a vegetarian. Would you date a carnivore?
Why not?
I'm not
with her because she's not eating meat.
Huh? I understand that, but it's like your all's lifestyle is so different.
Not really, it's just food.
She wants to go to McDonald's, you want to go to
She can go there, I'll go there.
Bojanic.
I won't eat, and I can be with her. It doesn't matter.
So your love transcends your diet.
So why should you because of someone, that's the point I was making, was that why say you can't be my friend, or you can't be my lover, or you can't be this, because you're doing this and I'm doing that.
Well, it's just the energy, dude.
Stupid.
I don't know, dude.
For instance, this is one difference. I'm gonna have to cut you off. No. August loves fashion. Loves buying clothes.
Yeah. And you're very anal about.
No, I'm not anal. I just I like simple things. I don't. For instance, I haven't showered. I've showered. I shower every day, but I haven't washed my hair in 6 days. So it's.
That's actually good for you, though.
It's a big reason. Yeah, I'm trying to restore my pH. Because I know shampoos and all that hair product really fuck up your scalp. Anyways, that's another thing. But August, yeah.
Who's August? Is that your wife?
It is my wife.
Okay,
Agustina
cool.
Vega.
You don't gotta give her whole name, but
See. No, I gotta show my respect no matter wherever she is.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Don't be hating, So she likes to shop, I don't. And that's a huge difference. Not only that, but it also reflects about how we spend our money. And that I don't let tear us apart. So she can eat whatever the fuck she wants. There are days where she wants to eat ice cream, sugar, and days I don't.
Okay, but you agree that there has to be something in common in order for this connection to happen.
Well, I think for there to be...
she's your quote-unquote twin flame, right?
I think that term, is pretty generic. And I don't think there's, I don't know. I don't know if that word, I don't know. That's a subject that I feel like is kind of, I don't know, very subjective, and she's someone that I have a deep connection to, and it wasn't something that I had to go and do, it was already there.
Yeah. And
that was kind of what I didn't realize, and that was what kind of, freaked me out in a way, was that there was something so strong, and where did it come from? How long had it been there? How did it find me?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff kind of.
It's not so easy to determine stuff like that.
No, that's why at some point you can ask all the questions you want, but at some point you kind of have to let that go. You kind of just have to be at peace with not knowing, because I feel like there's so much more that we don't know than what we do know.
Mm-hmm.
So asking questions is good. It shows that you're not taking everything as it is. You really want to know. So.
Yeah, I need you to give me some ground on that. You have to have commonalities with your romantic.
But what about the marijuana though?
No, I understand marijuana is cool, but dude,
I didn't get to
give me some ground. Dude, you can't have a romantic relationship and not have the same. She's carnivore, you're vegan. she likes shopping, you don't. Like, y'all don't meet on any plane of existence, yet y'all are together. That's it's improbable. You have to tell me that you have to have something in common in order to be. So for another 30.
Yeah, whatever, man. So like you were saying, all these beliefs, opposites attract, you have to have something in common. And these, again, are just beliefs, right?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, all right? These are just beliefs, man. And what are beliefs? There's something that
Dude, y'all always do this, right? Y'all New Agers.
Who is yo? I'm not a New Ager,
y'all
man.
pull out all the other stuff and then just go with it, dude. Like,
No. I'm trying to just really kind of, you gotta take.
Do you actually believe this shit, though? Do you actually believe?
But what is belief? Like, do I believe in what? You know?
Do you believe that, like, you can't have something
Do I believe that I believe? Or
dude, you have to have something in common with a girl, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay, do you have to have something?
Yeah.
Okay, I think there are many ways of answering it. There's no, it's not black or white, my friend.
Just say yes.
No, I won't say that, because you know what? There are countless people in this world that we will never see, and how will we know what their life is like, you know?
We won't.
So there will always, this is the thing, everything we say, there will always be a contradiction.
Mm-hmm. Is it blinking or no?
No,
cool.
It's stable.
Cool.
Anyways, however, just to take your question and not get all into it, yes, August and I, what do we have in common? Well,
I'm not saying you have to tell me what you.
Well, I'm gonna cover the angle, because it's true. Like, we have some things in common, but I don't know if that's why we're together, though. That could just be a compliment.
Well, how'd y'all meet?
In India.
Oh.
And I met her. This is the thing. This is what we do have in common. If it wasn't for practicing yoga, maybe I probably wouldn't have met her, because that was what brought me into India. That was what brought me to that particular teacher's training where I met her. So for me, yoga itself is enough of a connection, is enough of something in common, no matter what the fuck she wears, what the fuck she eats, you know, as long as it's not putting me in any kind of jeopardy, or where if I'm not living how I want to be living, okay, that's one thing, but that has never come into question.
So y'all share this really strong experience, and then it manifested itself into a relationship.
Yeah, and the thing was,
but had y'all not did yoga, it wouldn't have happened. I don't know why I'm beating this down the fucking rabbit hole, but dude, I just want you to agree that I feel like you have to have something in common. I can't just go on a date with a girl that, like, we share no interest with.
Yeah, you have to have something you can share. Like, exactly. Whatever the interest is, you have to be able to, there has to be connection, there has to be a spark, there has to be something where, like, you...
The twin flame, bruh. The spark of the flames.
I mean, everyone could be your twin flame. You could be my twin flame, no?
I don't hug you, so...
Oh, shit, man. You know you want to, you're just afraid. But, no, I mean, okay, yes, you need to have something in common, I guess. You know, I think it helps. I don't think it's...
But it's not necessary.
Rule. Yeah,
but
I think it helps. It might make things more enjoyable. But yes, it's nice when you can do something, like... But this is what's cool, right? So the music that I'm into, the whole psychedelic music culture, August is not. She's more into the punk culture, Nirvana. I mean, he's not really punk, he's grunge. But, like, you know, she was really into that movement. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sex Pistols, all that. The whole different leather. You're really getting dressed up. Where on the other side, you know, psychedelics. Oh,
vegan
man,
leather.
I'll just take my shirt off, man. Vegan leather, yes. Whatever. You know, 100% hemp, you know. But
Yeah.
So I've been able to kind of really show her that side of me, the music. Even though we don't share it, she doesn't share that appreciation for the same music. It's been nice to introduce her to it. So she can kind of get a piece of me that I feel like I'm able to, you know, express. So I think it's good to have some things in common, and I think it's good not to. So again, balance is key.
So what? Okay, so while we're on relationships, what are your thoughts on, like, getting girls, like getting hoes? Like before you were married, were you, like, out in the field and shit, in the trenches? Like,
no, man, I was never out in the trenches, because I've realized how important it is to take care of yourself first.
Oh my god,
it is important to take.
You're on some female, like,
no,
maternal.
No, you need to take care of yourself.
You do.
Before.
Let's say you got that taken care of. Let's say you're taking care of yourself.
We'll get past that point. I guess everyone watching is past that point, right?
Yeah, facts.
All right, fuck that, you know? So you're past the point of where you need to take care of yourself. So you've taken care of yourself.
You love yourself.
Right?
You do yoga every morning, hot yoga.
You eat, you know, you do everything. You know how to shit, you wake up, you go to job. You can do the basics, right? So then from there, everyone has a different approach. Some people, yes, like again, the whole masculinity, the whole male mentality
is
that
SJW, bro, like, for real.
It's to go out there. We're the hunters, right? And they're the hunted. I feel like the men have to go out and they gotta go kill, right? That's how we've primitively, are
really girls just don't go in, but the girls are just shy. Let's keep it 100. Like you can say all this primordial hunter gathering shit. These bitches, they quiet.
Again, what I'm saying is not for everybody. This is just from my experience.
I appreciate your
So you're right. The whole hunter-gatherer, the man, the hunter,
risks, dude.
The woman, the hunted. There are women who are hunters and they go after it. That's what I have learned is that some women do what the man should do, right? Oh, the man needs to pay. Oh, the man needs to go up to her. No. I have known women that have actually gone in reverse, where the woman is the more, not dominant.
Mm-hmm. Do you know their Instagram?
No,
okay.
I don't. I'm sorry. But Brian, this is the thing. Just, you gotta, as you do, you just put yourself out there. And what is putting yourself out there? Because that's really what it is, right? That is the question. How do you put yourself out there? What do you need to do? Well, for me, I feel like, one, just putting yourself out there is enough. Now, that's kind of up at the top. Now, let's kind of break it down. What does that mean? Some people need to go to specific places. You say you go to Georgia State to go look for girls. You say you go to Lenox to go look for girls.
I go out too on the weekends.
Yeah, you go places. You're looking for something, right?
Uh-huh.
So you can go out with the attitude of like, okay, I'm looking for something.
Outcome dependency is what you're saying. I need to be outcome independent.
However, what you are looking for, how do you not know that it's looking for you?
How do I not know?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
So basically, it's like if you keep thinking that you have to put yourself out there, that you got to go do this, that you got to be wearing this, you have to be driving this, you have to have this and this and this.
Yeah. Apple Watch, what's up?
Yeah, whatever. If you think that, like, you are kind of setting yourself up, like, you're going to attract everything that, like, you feel resonates with you, and that's what you do, that's what you find comfortable, that's what you learn, that, like, okay, you have to go and approach women.
Yeah, I'm building up all this resistance I need to release.
So whether it's at a library, a restaurant, the grocery store, or at a dog park, there are many different ways. So I feel like it all depends, because some women like some things, some women don't. Some men like this, some men like that. So it's like you have to find what's natural for you, and I think that's what's really important. I feel like that's what makes communication and connection really sexy, is somebody who's natural, who's not trying too hard. Right?
Yeah.
Because if you come off too strong, you might scare him away. So you need to find the delicate, because that's what it is. It's a dance, right? This whole art of attraction. Like, you have to know how to be fluid. If you're just straight up and, like, sometimes it's a turnoff. But some women, I'm sure, like that.
Yeah,
they want to be picked up and wow, But
well, so you're saying, so for example, you met your girl in yoga. You fucks with yoga, so maybe meet the girl that you like with what you fucks with. So I'm at the gym, right? I should go in on girls at the gym.
I mean, if you want,
you're giving me the stamp of approval to go in on girls at the gym, right?
You do whatever you want, man.
Oh
you can go to the girl, or you can somehow think that the girl maybe will come to you.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't happen, but all right.
Okay, well, that's what you think.
No, it does happen sometimes.
I
understand it happens sometimes, but usually it's not the girl you want.
But you don't know. That's where, man, you're...
Oh, my.
This is, Brian, if you had... This is something, man. This is what it is. This is your range. If your range of thinking, if your bandwidth only reaches a certain scale or note, that is just what you're going to get. However, if you start to work with what you tell yourself, and I mean every little thing, even the things that people might think you're crazy for, if you can really, tell yourself something else, you don't know what could happen. Because you're saying that, no, that never happens. No, it's the girl that you don't want. How do you, what? That's what you're telling yourself. If you told yourself something else and you believed it, you might get a different experience. Now, that said, what you're saying is true. I'm not refuting it. I'm not saying you're wrong. Listen to me. Nothing like that. Because for me, in my example, you're right. I put myself out there. I went to this course for a month long, and I had to respond. Like, we started talking. We planned to meet up to go watch music, but every time I got there before her and she didn't come, then I left. And as soon as I left, she came. So it was this kind of like
push and pull.
Yeah, and virtually, like, it came to the both of us. I didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. So this.
But it's but what is you not doing anything?
Well, this is, again.
That's just me like, oh.
I know, but Brian, it's
surrendering myself to the situation.
Well, no, it's just like, again.
At the end of the day, one of you initiated contact. I don't care. It had to happen. You had to be like, hey, what's up? You're cute. What are you up to?
I mean,
or something.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Like you.
But then you weren't outcome dependent after that. You were just in the moment, having a good time, and whatever happens, happens. You're not over here like, okay, I gotta get her number. I gotta do this, and then we're gonna go out on this date. We're gonna go here. I'm gonna pop this line.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Oh damn, dude. I mean, that works. I'm sure it works. I'm sure it's worked for you.
No, I mean, I used to do it. I don't do it anymore. That was my 21-year-old age.
Yeah, man.
2 years later,
I mean,
so different.
I don't know, like, because putting yourself out there, like this whole I have to put myself there. Well, who's the I in the first place? So it's like, if you want to take this down the rabbit hole, how far are you willing to go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this whole obsession with the doer, that I have to do this. It's like, who thinks it's the doer? Is it really you, Brian, that's here setting this up? Are you really doing this? Or is it something else?
Uh-huh.
So again, that will filter into your experience as well, how you relate, how you really see yourself.
To bring it back to like normal people terms, can I go in on girls at the gym?
Sure. Of course. Why not?
Okay.
You might meet really good people.
But you're saying don't try too hard, just try enough.
It depends. It's like, it's your experience, Brian.
Okay, I get it, but like...
What do you want? First off, what do you want? You want to get laid? You want to have someone to listen to you? You want to take someone out on a date?
That's the thing. That's the outcome
dependency.
dependency. I want to be independent of those outcomes.
So you want whatever you don't know.
I just want to meet a cool girl and see what happens.
Okay. Well,
that's what you wanted, right?
Okay, well, first off, let's start from there. You want to meet a girl, right? Keep it simple. You want to meet a girl, and you want to be able to see what happens. I think that should be something that you tell yourself everywhere you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focus more on that, just that thought and hearing it and seeing it and believing that, like, okay, this is going to happen. Don't get caught up in the details of where it's supposed to be, what you have to do, what you need to say, or what you need to bring, or what you need to, where to take them to. Like, I think just, so you know what you want, right? You know what you want. You want to meet somebody and take it from there. That's the number one thing, is knowing what you want.
Yes.
Now, your work, or whatever you have to do, I guess, is not to do. Doing and non-doing. I think non-doing is still a type of doing, right? So there's a different, it's just a different mechanism. Because either way, doing something versus not doing something, people still get the relationship. People still get this and that without having to do something, or they do something and they do get it. So again, for you, like, yeah, whatever is convenient. If you go to the gym all the time, if you go to this particular restaurant at work, like, there's no telling who you could meet. That's the thing. But just put yourself out there in the world, wherever.
But you said whatever convenient.
Again, it depends on your situation. Like, are you super specific?
You'll never meet someone outside your social circle if you don't take these risks. Like, oh, I'm at the coffee shop. The coffee shop could have, the girl who is a scientist, the girl who's an Olympic athlete, the girl who's just going to school. Like, it can have so many different ranges of people. Where if I go to the gym, it's like, I don't know, or I go somewhere where it's like specific. It's like, oh, we're all college students, so we're all the same.
Yeah.
I just like that idea of variety. I don't know. Back to weed, because relationships are fun and all, but you're married, so you're already out the game. I don't know why I'm asking you for advice. That's fucked up.
But what do you want? Yeah, you just want to. You said it.
Yeah,
you don't need advice, man. You know what you want. That's enough.
But it's not so much. It's like, I don't want to be, like you said, I don't want to be outcome dependent on all these different varieties. But at the same time, so there's someone I follow. His name's JP, Jordan Peterson. He's the coolest. He's cool as fuck. Yeah, he's hood. And he says, like, if you specify your goals for success, you also specify your goals for failure. So it's easy to not specify your goals for success, because that leaves failure blurry, kind of like low resolution.
Right.
But I don't know if he meant that in terms of women. I just think he meant that in terms of success. Because if I'm like, oh, I want a tall blonde with like a slim body, or I don't like blondes like that, so I don't know why I said that. But then if I don't get that, I'll know it, and I'll know I failed. But I don't think it's so much about women. I think it's more about like your other goals. But I just thought about it in terms of women. Like, I could just sit here and say, oh, I don't really care. I'll take anything. I'm just out here to have fun and then see what happens. It's like, yeah, do you really believe that? Or are you just saying that because it sounds good? Because it's easy to say that. It sounds good, that the camera's on.
Yeah.
So, like, do I really think that? And it's like, yeah, to a certain extent I do. But at the same time, I do want an attractive girl with, like, a nice body who's also intelligent. Like, everyone wants that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very complicated. At the same time, it's so simple. So.
I mean, don't get too attached to the results. Like, know what you want, but then again, you have to kind of not make peace with the idea, but everything is not guaranteed in life, right? So it's like you might not ever get it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. That's just kind of how life is. So I feel like if you live in that way where you're so attached to the outcome, you're so attached to the result, like you're gonna have maybe a kind of failure. And then when the failure does happen, it's going to be that much worse. Because if you're cool with yourself and you don't get what you want and you're still cool with yourself, then it really won't have such a huge impact on you. And I'm not saying this to kind of like shut you down or to, put a, bullet, somewhere. But you can take that and apply it to anything. But yes, know what you want, and that's okay. Like, we all have specifics. We like this, we don't like that. Like that, there's contrast. Don't obsess, because if you obsess, it's gonna have effects on you that, like, I don't know, will kind of it won't be as useful. You could be using that to be doing something else maybe.
But I also think that there's the other side of it where it's like, if you're so obsessed with your passion, then that makes it so much better.
I mean, I think, okay.
You're saying don't obsess over women, though.
I mean, it's different because it's like, this gets back to the whole, like, sexual energy, because I don't know if I touched on it, but like before, the whole kidding game or whatever that is, like, was I putting myself out there? It's because when you're with somebody, right? Like, you're with somebody, but then it's also your experience of what you're feeling when you're with that person, so two people can kind of merge, right? And at one point, yes, this whole idea of separation and like, that's you and this is me, these boundaries we kind of seem to let go of. So at some point you realize that whatever it is that you're really looking for, this fulfillment in the other, it's there, but then you also have the capacity to realize that it's always been here, because it's always been inside of you, but it's the person that you're with, it's the communication, it's the intimacy, it's like even through the sex, it's like all that is revealing what you already have. So it takes the other to kind of help,
bring out the best,
the vision, basically. So it's like, yes, relationships are key, but also what you learn is that, like, you learn more about yourself. Because I'm in this relationship, not only am I exploring and getting to know her, but in reverse, like, I'm doing the same with myself.
And it's almost better than not doing it. It's like, oh, I can just not be in a relationship, not have any pain, not have any struggle, not learn anything, but at least I'm not feeling like shit because
it's like, it's true. It's like, again, this touches on some deep stuff. It's like, this questions, who do you think you are? This whole doer, non-doer. And what do you think a relationship really is? All of that is going to filter. So it's like, if you think relationship is where, like, okay, the guy goes home at 5 o'clock, he's the breadwinner, and the wife is the whole generic model I think a lot of people have, that we've picked up. If that's what you think a relationship is, like, you're going to kind of pick up people that kind of are in the same sort of, signal, I guess. And so, you have to ask you, like, what is a relationship? What do you want out of the relationship? Is it going to be a partnership, or is it going to be, a place where we can both, like, help one another and, confide and open and be able to do healing? Because I think that's relationships are really good for. We kind of touch parts of ourselves that only certain moments allow, right? If we're in a bedroom completely,
smashing.
Yeah, like, that's not something you see out in the streets, or like, we keep those parts of our lives, like, very hidden. Like, those are the hidden parts.
There's power in intimacy. There's power in sexual energy.
Yeah, man. So just be careful with that. If anything, what I would recommend, if you're looking for the woman, it's like, not hold on to your sexual energy, but, like, work with it. Like, put it into exercising, put it into something creative like this, like, put it into expression.
Don't jack off.
It depends. Like, if your body needs it, right?
So you do no fap?
I mean, I don't need to fap, because I guess I'm with someone.
My.
But it's true. If you fap,
it's good for your prostate.
Limit it. Yes, you need to cleanse it, but limit it. Like, do it once every full moon or whatever,
Damn.
once a month.
Damn.
I
do that shit like 3 times a day.
I mean, maybe because you got the energy to let go of, and that's fine for you. But if you're 60 years old and you're doing it 3 times a day, now what do you think?
Then you must be taking Viagra to check off.
So, I mean, it's your vital force, and believe me, it's like a bank account. That shit will run out,
Mm-hmm.
So, but Brian, just put yourself out there. You're gonna find a girl. Like, don't worry about it, man. Just think that you already have it.
Mm-hmm.
Enough.
Dude, such a fucking godlike perspective, dude. Can we talk about weed? Can we fucking talk about
weed? I have my pin here.
Okay, that's cool. You can hit it if you want. My roommate doesn't care.
It's okay. Not in front of the camera.
I see. Well, so it's sacred to you then, I'm assuming.
It's sacred.
Because you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it in front of the camera.
No, because it might offend others. That's the thing.
Who cares? You're gonna... Dude, to speak is to offend someone.
It's true. You're right about that. There could be someone there.
People are already offended. You've already talked about shit that people get offended
Yeah,
about.
well, I guess I don't want to expose myself. Because for me, it is an act that I feel like I have to... I don't know. I mean, I very well could pull it out and do it, but what's the point?
Yeah, okay. I understand.
So for me, yeah, like I was saying, like it's a seed, right? And it grows. And I was able to work with it before. And I've always had appreciation for nature. Yeah. What I like it, I like it. You're right. Like I don't smoke as much as I used to when I was younger. I have less respect for it when I was younger. I smoked it. It was like I abused it. Now, I think I have a bit more sensitivity and a bit more, I realize the implications because for a lot of people it can cause anxiety. It can cause like all sorts of, whatever, panic attacks, paranoia. It can cause people to do stupid things. It can cause munchies. It can blah, 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 blah. So I feel like, yes, for everyone it's different. Like every kind of person is going to have a different experience. Mm-hmm. So some people just don't like it at all. Some people do it because they like the smell. Some people do it because it's like they have an oral fixation.
It cures people's anxiety. I know a lot. You don't seem very anxious though, so.
Well, I was with a friend yesterday, and I asked him. He doesn't smoke weed simply because it would give him anxiety.
It would give him anxiety?
Yeah.
I thought it cured anxiety.
Again, that's the thing. The plant itself is not bad, right? It's whatever when the oxygen, like, I don't even know the oxygen. What the hell am I talking about? When you smoke, basically, right, mm-hmm. and it filters into your lungs, and like it kind of works with your own biochemistry, it's going to have a different, it's just going to produce different sensations, different feelings, a whole different experience. Like some people smoke weed and they sit on that couch and they watch TV and they just veg out. Some people, I don't know, are inspired to go run, to go work out, to, get creative, whether it's instruments, music, or cooking. Like it depends on the person and what you put into
mm-hmm.
it.
So what does it do for you?
What does it do for me? For me, like, one, I enjoy it. Let's be honest. Like, it's pleasing. It's pleasurable, right?
Yeah.
Like, I won't deny that it's like, oh, I do it because
There's nothing wrong with enjoyment. I think that there's something wrong with, like, y'all's new age mindset of, like, y'all think it's bad to enjoy shit.
I'm not part of the new age movement, man.
But you know what I mean? Like, the people that detach themselves from reality or detach themselves from mundane shit and they go out of their father's house and they go to Argentina and they experience this love, this culture. I'm just using you as an example.
Okay, sure.
Y'all think that enjoyment is bad. Y'all think it's bad to, like...
I never said enjoyment is not bad.
But self-indulging enjoyment. I know you never said it, but I have a friend who's very big on, like... He's not the same as you at all in any way, but he's on that, like... He's on this, like, detachment mode of being where he's like, dude, just meditate, dude. The only thing that matters is what's forever. If it's not forever, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to hear about it. I don't even want to think about it. So, like, for you enjoy weed. To him, that would be like, dude, that's bad because I smoke weed for spiritual shit, or I'm not going to smoke weed anymore because I enjoy it. It's like, it's almost like it's bad to have a hedonistic, like, to do anything that would make you feel good. I don't know what you thought, what your perspective was on that. Back to weed.
I mean, yeah, regarding, I think, again...
You just made it seem like you're admitting, like, I enjoy it, like...
What, because
like it's bad to enjoy something.
No, I admit it. No, not to say that it's bad to... It's not bad to enjoy it. I say that because a lot of people think that they don't do it for pleasure when, in fact, they do. They mm-hmm. think they are doing it for these enlightening reasons when it's like, no, they enjoy it. They enjoy being high. Like, maybe they don't use it to put into, some sort of dialogue with themselves where they're really trying to, figure something out. And for me, it's like what it does, it kind of, if anything, it's like when the sun is bright and we put on our sunglasses to kind of have this tint. It gives a certain shade, right? And I feel like for me, and it depends whether it's in the morning or at nighttime, there's a different symmetry, I guess, the differences between smoking in the day and smoking at night. And I feel like for me, like one, obviously, my train of thought kind of gets a bit more lucid. Like I'm able to kind of see inside of my mind what I wasn't really able to discern prior. Even though I still do things that like do not require the use of smoking, like meditating or playing the instrument. Like there are other focuses that some people don't need or want to smoke weed, and that's fine. I wouldn't say that it makes me more enlightened. I don't think it makes me more of what I'm already not, If anything, I enjoy it. Like it's been a habit. I wouldn't say it's like a full-on ritual where I do this steps and then I do it, but I make sure that I actually try and be there. I try to be more open. I try to be more present to the experience. But I just like it, and then for me, I combine it sometimes with doing yoga. I think combining marijuana and practicing yoga with your breathing, it does something to your nervous system. It definitely does have a chemical effect.
So you're saying it's not so much the act of smoking weed in general, it's the whole culmination of everything that you do. You smoke weed, you do yoga, you play the flute. It's kind of...
Yeah, I think for me it's kind of like it's a tool. I feel like it's another perspective.
Some people abuse it. Does that make you mad?
No. I once abused it.
What's the difference between you abusing it and not abusing it?
I feel like for me, I was like, I didn't really know. I think when I was younger, it was like I wanted to smoke and just always smoke.
Yeah, you have long hair.
Super fucking high. What does that mean? And trying to get high. Now it's like I take one hit and I hold it in as long as I can. So I have a whole different
choke yourself out with that
method.
shit.
No, because it's true. When you hold your breath, there are changes your body processes. But now, I don't do it as much. And there are points in my life where I'm not smoking. Like in Argentina, there was about 4 months where I didn't smoke.
So you're not addicted to it?
That's the thing. It's like I can go without it. I have clearly been able to demonstrate that I can live, I can function, I can still enjoy myself, I can still dance to music, I can still play the flute, I can still do those things without needing weed. I just enjoy it. It's not a need.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before growing up, it was like, oh, I gotta get high, man. I can't fucking, I can't do this.
Can't enjoy reality unless,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can escape, or I feel like it can just, not to say it enhances, but I feel like, you have a sort of an acuity, I guess. And
what does that mean? I don't know big words.
Like acute. I feel like
less than 90 degrees?
I think that's what that is.
It is what it means.
It's been a long time since I've studied math.
We know you're dumb.
All that, yeah, I am. No, acuity. I feel like there's a certain,
You're honing in on...
Yeah, it's like, you can focus. People get inspired. Like some people like weed, marijuana. It truly is a miracle.
So have you had a spiritual experience smoking weed?
Sure. I think there were kind of moments where I had realizations, right? Not hallucinations. These were things that kind of finally clicked, things that really made sense, things that I guess I couldn't really see before. Because I feel like that's what it helps. It's like this whole, people associate marijuana to the, as they say, the third eye, right?
The eye.
The third eye. That which can,
this is juicy.
You close your eyes and you're able to see that, okay, there goes a thought. Oh, wow, I just thought of what I ate 5 minutes ago. So there's that kind of seeing. What we can also perceive this and this and this. But I think it's more of an internal sense, an internal recognition of what's going on. Because it's very easy. That's the thing. I think a lot of us have anxiety because there's something that we don't want to see, right? That's what the anxiety is. There's something that we're not seeing. There's something that we're running away from. That's the anxiety. That's the stress. That's the arousal we put ourselves through. So it's like the whole marijuana thing, like, again, if it's taken to excess, it doesn't, I don't know, it can always be good. Like, I don't sit and smoke like a shit ton. It's like just one hit, sometimes 2 or 3 is enough. I don't need to push it, because I think some people, they want to go all the way and they just take it too far. And I feel like I've taken it too far before, and I've learned that it doesn't, if anything, it actually kind of, it backfires. So I support it. I hope people do 10 more. All right.
No, so dude, okay, so you, I like how you say, like, you're willing to, so I don't know what you believe. I don't know if you believe in God. I know we talk about the universe a lot. So you're willing to admit that you don't know everything about what's going on in your life, right? So you smoke weed, and then you kind of get, maybe, it's not just the weed, it's the yoga, the other stuff. It gives you this, like, this idea of, like, oh, so now I can see things a little more clearly. Maybe I can kind of move in towards the direction of my dreams or my hopes or my wants or my wishes, because it's almost like sitting at the edge of your bed, and it's like, hey, maybe I don't believe in God, but I'm going to pray. I'm going to say, hey, look, what stupid thing am I doing wrong? What do I not, I'm willing to move, I want to move forward on this thing that I'm pursuing, but there's an obstacle in my way, and I don't know what it is, and I want to know what it is. And maybe that's how weed helps you determine what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're kind of, and then you said it's also like you're hiding from something, you're anxious about something, or there's something that you know you need to do. There's a demon that's growing within you that you're avoiding. And it's kind of like, so Carl Jung, I don't know if you knew who that is, he extracted this saying out of alchemical literature in one of his books. It's Instar Colinus and Venator. What you most want will be found where you least want to look. Like, which means, in filth it will be found, essentially, is what Instar Colinus and Venator means. So it's almost like, King Arthur, with the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is either the blood that Jesus spilt when he was speared on the cross, or the wine at the Last Supper. I don't know. But essentially, he's sitting at this round table with all of his knights. The round table kind of signifies that they're all equals. And then they all enter the forest at the part that looks darkest to them to face their fear, the dragon, whatever, the thing that's within them that allows them to uncover, like, the grail or what they need to find. So it's kind of like weed does that for you. Weed, I think I'm giving too much power to weed, but essentially it helps you become a fully functioning human being.
Yeah, again, like I was saying, it's like I don't need it, right? It's something I choose to do. It's
of course.
Like I can live.
Would you recommend it to people?
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. It's
Why?
Because I feel like
you still do it.
I still do it, but why would I? I think there are benefits. I think it's like, it depends on how it's used. I think there have been actually many examples where people have been able to really deal and cure sickness, and I feel like it's true, whether it's a physical or mental sickness. Like, it is, to me, it is an herb that has healing power. And that said, you cannot rely on it. So if you rely on it, that's when it actually becomes poison. So your nectar, whatever it is, it can actually become very harmful for you. So that's another thing you have to kind of work out with. And I think for me, because I can go without it and because I can go on with it, I think because if I have this attitude where it's like no to weed, no, I will not smoke weed because of this and this and this, I kind of set up in myself a sort of barrier, right? That, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can only do this. And I feel like that kind of thinking, this but not that, I don't want to live this dualistic kind of, way of,
good
living.
versus bad.
Yeah, I don't want to live like that. Marijuana, it is what it is. It is what it, what you put into it and what it has to show you. So I do it, like, again, not because I need it, but because, one, I enjoy it. Two, like, it does give me, like, ample space to where I can kind of just not put everything on pause, but it's like everything becomes the volume kind of turns down, right? All the chattering, the mental chatter. It's like sometimes it kind of just tweaks it, and then I'm able to kind of be more in the experience. Everything becomes heightened.
Mm-hmm.
That's to me what it is. It heightens everything. So whatever you got feeling and going on, weed, marijuana, will kind of bring it out fuller. Like, it's like, if you zoom in on something, like if we have something we want to zoom in, I think that's kind of what it's like. It's like a microscope, and it can zoom in on whatever is there. But whatever is there is kind of what's more important than the actual weed. It's not the tool itself. It's not the microscope, right? So for me, what does it bring out? Well, it actually makes me like want to be more creative at times. If I'm just sitting around, I don't know, sometimes I'll smoke, it's like, oh, I want to play the flute now, even though before I didn't feel like doing it. So it kind of, I guess, gives me a bit of a kick or something to do something, like whether it's, you know, playing the music or just going out for a walk. It like has this, I don't know, there's a certain drive behind it. I feel like it's something to do with our evolution. Like, it pushes us forward, I feel like, you know.
That's fine. Why wouldn't you recommend it to someone?
Because again, I don't know these people, you know.
You don't, but I mean, you know what weed's done for you, and you know weed's helped you.
Yeah, but again, like, I mean,
it's almost like you have a love-hate relationship with it. Then?
No, I don't. I mean, it's funny.
Well, you said back in the day you were using it.
I used it more, and it's funny because my mother, you know, she has never liked it, and she still knows I do it. And just even recently, she was like, "Your eyes are red." And she was like, "Does the flute make your eyes red?" And I said, "No, Mom, it doesn't."
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. But obviously, growing up, when I first got caught with weed, it was like, oh my God, you know, everything came down. But
so you wouldn't recommend it to someone?
I mean, again, I'd have to know the person. I'd have to talk to them.
It's very specific.
First. I won't just blurt it out there.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, for the most part, I think if you're stable, why not?
Toke up, guys. Hey. Okay, dude, we've been going for like an hour. What do you want people to take away from this about you and just about life, or about just in general? Like, what do you represent?
What do I represent?
And I'm not trying to say like you have to have some crazy idealist thing. Live your life, right?
No, but it's cool. Thank you first, because I've never been able to really kind of have a conversation
thoughts, right?
like this before. It's been the first time, so really, thank you. I don't know. You know, like, I think, I don't know the kind of people that watch this, but I think whatever it is that you're watching and whatever it is that you're hearing or whatever it is that you're seeing, kind of take it and be able to notice maybe areas in your life where you find some sort of, like you said, similarity, where you find some sort of connection. Because obviously if you're watching this, maybe you want to. And if you want to, why do you want to? So if anything, I would take this and, I don't know. It's really hard, man. This is a deep question, you know? What to say to the world, like, I don't know. You have to do what you have to do. I mean, it sounds cliche. Do what I have to do. What the fuck do I have to do in the first place? Like, you know, what
most people know what they have to do.
What, you know?
Most of them know what you mean. I mean, let's be honest. It's within them. You already said it's within people.
I mean, I think, to be honest, all right, let's cut it. Life is short. We're all going to die, right? We're all going to fucking die. And in that moment, before we die, what do you think really matters? Now, think about that and try and make that...
My friend says we're eternal.
I'm not saying we're not.
Then why you say we're going to die?
Because there's a birth and there's a death.
I see.
Think about it. The best way to think about death is like, we die every night, we go to sleep. When we go to sleep, we're pretty much dead. Where do we go?
Yeah, we die daily.
So in a way, we come and go, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So we're going to sleep, but then we wake up. We come from where? So like I said...
Die?
What?
You want them to die?
No, realize that life is short, life is impermanent, you're not guaranteed anything.
Yeah.
So really make the most and be present. That's all there is. You have to live. You have to be available to whatever life is showing you. And try not to resist whatever it is, because it's there and there's nothing you can do about it.
Uh-huh.
Because you're here, this is your experience. One day all this will be over, and then what? So... Again, how you treat yourself and how you treat others is going to follow you after death. What you do here and now is you're gonna reap what you sow.
How do you know?
As they say. Well, you know, it's true. Like, you can see what you can do. Like, for instance, if I yell at Augustina, now, yelling at Augustina, like, what is that going to do? What is she going to do in response? So there is... Like,
is it a good reason? Sometimes people need to be yelled at.
I know. I'm just using an example.
Yeah.
It's not something that, like, I don't yell at Augustina. Like, there have been times where I've raised my voice. Yes, of course. But I was just saying raising your voice, right? How that's going to have an immediate effect on someone else. Like,
of
you
course.
can really change their feelings. And that's going to have an effect. So the actions that you take and how they affect others, like I said, it's going to come back to you somehow. How do I know it? I just do. I'm not going to prove it. I'm not going to say, oh, it's like this, it's like this. I won't give you any kind of science. It's like, it will come back to you. You know, it always will. It's like a fucking boomerang, you know? Like,
karma.
It is. Like, it is the law, basically. Like, what you do, it has a reaction. So do something good for yourself and for others. So you ensure that they and yourself have a brighter future. So,
dude, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for putting me on.
Hell yeah. All right, guys, like and subscribe. I love you.